U.S. court sets August 23rd deadline for Tinubu to justify why Chicago University records should not be released to Atiku Abubakar. Wow. So we remember that Atiku Abubakar, in pursuance of Tinubu's credibility with respect to his academic qualification in the USA, Chicago State University, okay, sent raised a court case against him in Chicago, United States, but also applied to or obtained court subpoena to the Chicago State University to release Tinubu's certificate to be used in the court as evidence. But Tinubu has written the university to block that move. Didn't want the document to be released. Rumors have it that the name Bola Tinubu that was registered in the Chicago State University was a female that was born 1950, I think 1954 or so. Okay. So, and that document that Tinubu presented to INEC to contest for election was proven to be forged and false. Okay, so to be able to clarify that, the court, Atiku has gone to the USA to make a case against him, also to produce for the result to be produced, but Tinubu blocked it. Now, the US court has now set deadline, given the Chicago State University deadline of August 23rd to explain why they should not release Tinubu's certificate as an exhibit in court. We know that Tinubu is hinging on the U.S. State law that prevents institutions from releasing private information to the public. But again, this is a court case that's under investigation, and it should be an exception. Okay. Now, wow. So President Bola Tinubu has until August 23rd to present persuasive argument as to why Chicago State University should not be ordered to release his academic results to Atiku, his rival in the February 25 Nigerian presidential election, according to court filings seen by People's Gazette. Okay, this deadline was imposed on August 9 by Jeffrey Gilbert, the new magistrate judge assigned to the case at the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago. Mr. Abubakar earlier this month requested court approval to subpoena Mr. Tinubu's files domiciled with Chicago State University because he believed the documents would clarify glaring inconsistencies in Mr. Tinubu's background, including publicly available documents that suggested that the Chicago State University in 1970s admitted a female student bearing Bola Tinubu who was born on March 29, 1954. The Nigerian president said he was born on March 29, 1952, although he had also at different times listed 1954 as his birth year in the past. He also recently expunged his primary and secondary education from his records after it was discovered that the schools he listed under oath in his 1999 run for Lagos governor did not exist anywhere in Nigeria. Can you imagine? So all the schools that he listed, primary and secondary schools that he attended with result, he found out they never existed anywhere in Nigeria. So he expunged them from his record. Mr. Abubakar believed the requested records would show which early and high school papers Mr. Tinubu submitted to CSU before he was admitted to study accounting there. Shortly after Mr. Abubakar approached the court for the records, Mr. Tinubu promptly filed a motion to thwart the request from being granted, citing a U.S. privacy law for students. but the court appeared interested in allowing the case to proceed after Mr. Abubakar argued it has a valid jurisdiction. The judge has now set a deadline mandate for Mr. Tinubu to submit his argument by August 23rd as to why Chicago State University must keep his records from Mr. Abubakar filings showed. Additionally, the U.S. court ordered Mr. Abubakar to respond to Mr. Tinubu's argument by September 9, 2 weeks after Mr. Tinubu's response was anticipated. The deadline showed that court was racing to rule on the matter before September 21, and when Nigeria's Election Petition Tribunal would likely deliver its judgment in the suit challenging Mr. Tinubu's election victory. Oh, okay. So it means that we are looking at September 21 for the tribunal to release their judgment. Mr. Tinubu's questionable academic history is merely one of several grounds that Mr. Abubakar's lawyers are pursuing in Nigeria's court to nullify his declaration as president and eligibility to stand for election in future. Claims ranging from narcotics dealings to money laundering and election fraud are also being argued. Mr. Tinubu, who was born in as Nigerian president who was sworn in as Nigerian president on May 29, has insisted he was the one who attended Chicago State University, while dismissing his 1990s narcotics scandals as a civil forfeiture proceeding that should not carry any criminal implication for his political ambition. Wow. So now, with all of this happening to Tinubu, court has asked Tinubu now to explain by latest August 23rd why Chicago University should not release this record, even though Tinubu is hinging on privacy law that prevents or that protects students, or that also prevents academic institutions from releasing individual student record to the public. But it looks like the court is interested in filing the case to conclude it on or before the September 21st, when hopefully the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Nigeria will be releasing their judgment. So this is the situation. So Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar has up to September 9 to respond to Tinubu's clarifications and argument prior to passing the judgment. So, but the question that people are asking, why is it delaying? Again, Tinubu seems to be protected by the U.S. government, even though there is no proof yet. But it looks like the U.S. government is protecting him from the background, at the back end rather. So let's see, there are a few comments here. Let's take one or two comments. Somebody say he should agree to the blackmail or the documents released. That's what they are saying. This is one reason why Nigerians should always think before voting in people with the desire of guilt from the West. They will always blackmail your leaders into taking decisions that suits them, okay, and subjugate you as it is happening now in Nigeria. Don't think the president is doing what he is on his own. Strong foreign forces are behind him, coercing and blackmailing him to take anti-Nigerian decisions. Yeah, I'm sure this commenter is talking about Nigeria being involved in the Niger Republic war. Okay, the West is trying to blackmail him and hoodwink him into going to war, or they will release his record quickly. So Tinubu now is between either blackmail of the Western world or face the court judgment that is also trying to, buttress his integrity issues. Tinubu is in trouble. I know it that definitely allowing Tinubu to become president, the West will blackmail him and use him against Nigerians. And that is probably what is going to happen. And that is what this person is saying. Someone say, why can't the West blackmail Obi? Why always Tinubu? Or could it be he is really not clean? He is not clean now. They're not feel blackmail Obi because Obi is not involved in any of those rubbish. Okay? Can you imagine? Somebody saying nobody's blackmailing anybody here to start with. Okay, it is the skeletons in his cupboard that are haunting him. Anyone that doesn't want to be subjected to public scrutiny shouldn't offer himself for public service. A lot about Tinubu is shrouded in secrecy. Date of birth, age, state of origin, no verifiable classmates, dead or alive, source of wealth. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. If he has nothing to hide, then the truth must be told. We need to unveil the authenticity of his certificate. Okay, it will reveal a lot as to having or not lied on oath. Some of us have had our transcripts requested by our employers from the schools we claimed to finish from, and schools where we sought higher learning have done background checks to see if truly we excelled at a lower course of study, which is a prerequisite for a higher course, or do you just put for a master's degree and get accepted like that, with the school doing all allegiance to check, all due diligence to check your claims of having a BSc or PGD? Somebody say you are very reasonable, and that is true. Tinubu's case is a big one. Tinubu, as a man, has many criminal and fraudulent past that is now haunting him. May God help him. Okay, oh, somebody say he's your president, not Billy. How does that concern you? Pardon your own counsel chance. I beg, not Billy. Pardon your own canoe. So the truth is that we have a president that has a lot of dirty records with the West, and they will use it against him. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment. Let's see how that court case will go.